Okay, so if you remember, we created the model of Frankenstein to predict now, to predict the range, to predict the y values, right? We try to create a model by what we call this, by having our Keras losses, our as well as our optimizer. Okay, so that's how you create now our brain model, and then we save the model. But the thing here is scikit-learn has some predefined models, predefined models, okay, or what we call the brain of the machine, okay, for you, so that you don't have to do a trial and error on your Keras losses and optimizer. If you would see here, scikit-learn has some predefined models for you. If I copy this one, and let's paste it here, these are now, okay, these are now the predefined models, meaning the brain of Frankenstein or the machine that has been created for you by scikit-learn. Okay? Now, what our problem is using this model, using a predefined model, we want to classify, okay, classify or know if um if if the person has a heart disease or not, right? So here we have what we call a classification problem. So a while ago, this is what I did, okay? What is a good machine learning model for classification? So there are many machine learning models that you use before classification. Okay, so this the logistic regression for binary classification. Okay, so this is a good classification model for binary classification, meaning 0 and 1. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use now the logistic regression, okay, model in order to create the brain of our machine. Okay, so let's go back here to our code and let's create a text. Okay, let's model now let's model the brain of the machine using okay, let's create a logistic regression model, or what we say, brain, okay, brain for our machine. Okay, so how do we do that? Okay, all right, so let's create a code. Okay, now before, remember, we saved the brain of Frankenstein. So what we can do that is to access a saved model. You could just say, for example, model is equal to now um, Frank brain, something like that. I'm not sure about the file name, but this is what we saved, right? But here, what you want to have using a predefined model of scikit-learn, we're going to use now the logistic regression. Okay, we're going to use now the logistic regression. So in order to do that, this is what we have to do in our code. Our model, okay, so the instead of Frank brain, I want to load now a logistic regression. So logistic regression. Okay, so this one loads. Okay, this one loads the logistic regression model. Now, if I save this one, okay, if you would see here, you had an underline here, we have to import, okay? What we need to do now is to import a logistic regression, okay, in our code. So how do we do that? Notice here we have an error. Let me just play this one. Okay. Notice name logistic relative is not defined. So I'll copy this and using Chat GPT, okay, okay, you could use something like this. What is this error? Okay, let's see. Now, the reason why I'm teaching you this Chat GPT is because instead of learning machine learning for a year or paying, for example, $1,000, I was able now to I was able to learn machine learning in just a month. But by just tinkering around with ChatGPT and explaining me the codes. Oh, okay. So you need to import the class by following the top of your code. So let's copy this. Let's put that on top of your code. Okay, so let's just put this here. Don't forget to run it. There we go. And then let's run this again. And notice there's no error now. Okay, so once you have created now, loaded the logistic regression model, what we need to do now is to split the test and training data. Our X, meaning our X and Y test data, and our X and Y training data. But before, in our first machine learning program, we only had two columns, right? Our X and Y. But how do we do this? Okay, how do we do this with several columns? Okay, so this is what you need to do. Okay, so this is a reserved data. So all I have to do here is do something like this. Okay, hold on. X underscore train, okay, comma X underscore test, and Y underscore train, and then Y underscore test. Okay, so this is a reserved syntax. You just have to do this one, and then just type in is equal to train test split. Okay, then you just type in X and Y test size. Okay, is equal to, all right, then we have, okay, so test site, I'll just type the codes first. Random state is equal to 42. Now, what does this code mean? Okay, so here, this line of codes, this one, you don't have to think about this one, you just have to type this one. But here, the test size, for example, I want my test size would be just 10% of the whole data. If, for example, if we had 124 rows, okay, 10% of this row, meaning point 0.1, point 0.1 of the data will be what our machine should be able to predict. Okay? If you want, the test could be point 0.2, point 0.1, and so on. And then the remaining point 0.9, the remaining 90% would be now the training data or the manual for our machine. Okay? And then the random state, if you remember our random seed, the random state, okay, the random state is also equal to the random seed that we created in our first machine learning program. So I'll make this now, say for example, let's make that 100. Let's to shuffle it by 100. Let's play this one. Okay. Now we have an invalid syntax. You could test this one, but using ChatGPT, I was able to find out the problem. We have to import the scikit-learn as well. So from sklearn linear model, okay, import train test split. Okay, so I learned this from sklearn. If you want, you can just copy the error and then paste it. But let's play this again. Okay, there's an error. Let's see. From sklearn linear model. Sorry, there should be train test split model selection. There we go. Paste that. Okay. So let's just see if there's no error. That's good. Okay, so all of these are checked. And let's see now if there's no error here. Okay, invalid syntax. Let me just see. Okay, let me just pause the video while I look for the error. Okay, the error was I forgot to have an underscore here. There should be one word. Test underscore size. So let's play that and see. There we go. Okay, so there's no error. So what we want to do now is we're gonna fit the model. Okay, so let's create a code. Let's fit now the model. So since we use a predefined model from sklearn, all we have to do now is just to type in model, which is basically this one, a variable model dot fit, then x underscore train, y underscore train. Okay, so let's play that one. Okay, so all right, so that's good. Basically, it's total number of iterations reach limit. That's okay. This is just a warning. It's basically um, Python or Google Colab now wants more data, but that's okay. Okay, so in the next lesson, let's see if our data is our machine learning model is able to predict the outcome of the heart disease. Okay, so I'll see you in the next lesson.